So, hello everyone. Today we have a special guest. We have Mr. Aaron with us. Hello, Aaron.
Hello, Sebastian.
Thank you very much for accepting our invitation. Mr. Aaron is an eclectic person and has a very diverse life experience. I follow you on TikTok and I see your trainings. They are very diverse and very hard. Could you tell us a little bit about your training?
Well, I've been trying to get back in shape at the level I was when I was a Taekwondo teacher. I spent some time injured and been recovering it little by little.
I see. Yes, yes, yes. And you are doing a lot of physical exercise mixed with martial art inspired exercises. So some exercises to recover in the meantime with the martial art preparation.
Of course, I'll do forms work. I have my book on Tai Chi, so I'll work on Tai Chi Chuan when I'm recovering and so forth. Um, it's quite a process feeling it back out.
I cannot stop myself of asking, since I see you have a Tai Chi book and I am a Tai Chi practitioner myself. How do you find Tai Chi?
Oh, I love Tai Chi. I just find it's very difficult to find training partners.
In my perception, the fighting part of Tai Chi, it's a very important part because without cannot understand the roots of Tai Chi, we cannot understand the origin, and we cannot go from there forward to, let's say, enhancing our energy. You are recovering from a work accident, if I understood correctly.
Uh, it's a short story as far as it goes. After the death of my first wife, I got into a relationship very quickly, and we weren't a good match, and I got a divorce. After my divorce, um, my finances fell apart, and I homeless, slept in the back of my truck for 2 years. During that time, I decided that I needed to take this opportunity of having far fewer bills to collect enough money to own my own house. So I worked between 3 and 5 jobs, between 70 and 100 hours a week for that 2 years, and saved up enough money for the down payment on the house you see me sitting in. Because I was working so much, I ended up developing a lot of overwork injuries and was not able to maintain my fitness.
This is a very touching story. And I would like to say this is a good example for many, many youngs to follow. How are you now after all this?
I'm doing much better. Of course, the experience with serious injuries can be a very long-term process of recovery, but I am almost as strong as I was when I used to teach Taekwondo, and I will be getting my flexibility back little by little as well.
I see now you are training outside in the yard. Do you have more fun? I saw even some chickens.
Yes, sir. I've recently been able to start building a chicken shed.
So here we have a life that's fully developing and you're 100% back in it and wonderful. And I see you even training with a hammer. So you are
Yes,
also, so I presume that you are very handy. You have been working many jobs. I see a guitar back there. So you cover many, many aspects of life at many levels.
I have a strange personality. I can't stand to sit around for too long, so I have to have a lot of hobbies.
And how about, let's say, other preoccupations? I see you have a lot of books. Do you read?
Yes, my one of my friends came to my house the other day and said, "All you own is books."
As you said, you're restless to engage with life, to discover more. This is wonderful, Aaron. And you said, let's see about your experience in Taekwondo. You said you are a Taekwondo teacher.
I am a first degree black belt. I taught taekwondo for 2 years. Um, And then at the end of my relationship, I took some time away.
You stop. And now, how this experience is translated into what you do, especially in Tai Chi? Do you find it useful?
Absolutely. The cross pollination of various martial arts is an incredible process. I find that my interpretation of various techniques can be quite a bit different from the mainstream. Um, One of my challenges with Taekwondo is that it's become focused much more on the sport aspect and much less on the self defense aspect, much like Tai Chi in at least the Western world tends to be focused more on the health aspect.
I believe in my experience that Tai Chi has started from the fighting. And then on the other hand, it's what people they call health, or what we can call the form, the beauty of the movement, which sometimes in the action, in the routine, it's a little bit idealized to tend more for the artistical side. And then in the middle is that magic energy, the chi, that all the practitioners they are looking for. So I think without all these three joined together, there's not really a internal martial art, especially Tai Chi, just to say my opinion, to share with you.
I
Yeah.
agree. In fact, in my job, I do security, and occasionally I have to break up a fight or tell people that they have to leave, and sometimes I get attacked. And oddly enough, the two martial arts that I've used in that job over the last 9 years are Tai Chi and Muay Thai.
I see,
Uh,
I see.
the opening ended up allowing me to break up a fight between two gentlemen who decided that they were going to fight even with me in the middle, and allowed me to throw both of them back. And in the case of a gentleman who tried to punch me, the Muay Thai turn kick cleaned him right off his feet, so I didn't have to fight him, and we could sit and wait for the police.
This is a wonderful experience. What can I say? Full of action. And Muay Thai, I'm a little bit familiar because I did my massage school in Thailand. So I had the occasion to yes, I did. I had the occasion to view to be a witness of some Muay Thai fights on a ring, and it's quite impressive as a martial art. I could say yes. It's and to my feeling as a Tai Chi practitioner, that boxers, that fighters, they are not going for punching the opponent, but they are going for a knockout. They would have taken some punches or kicks, but when the moment came, they would knock out the opponent. It was amazing. It was so surprising. Yeah, so I think you have a good combination of martial arts there. Yes. On the other hand, if you use Tai Chi, as you said, to the opening form, just to that's the best. That Tai Chi, it gives us a lot of confidence, internal confidence, and it makes us very strong. We acquire physical stability and spiritual, mental stability.
It's a
Yes.
wonderful development, especially the mental stability for my practice so far. Since I tend to need to be in action at all times, it's wonderful to do an action that slows me down and teaches me sensitivity.
Yes, this concept is very Eastern. It's I was just talking with a friend yesterday, and he said to me that he was watching Tai Chi. He didn't get much of it, but and then I said, you see, unlike any other things that, as you mentioned, the Taekwondo are more the sport aspect. Things in Tai Chi they are not done by contracting, by contract flexing the muscles, but by relaxing, going down everything to relax to the maximum. So he said this is a very non-Western philosophy.
It's true because many of my Western friends think that it's not effective, but my friend who is a college level wrestler, when we wrestled, Tai Chi was very effective. And it turned out that both wrestling and Tai Chi shared many, and I'm talking about Olympic freestyle wrestling. I don't have experience in the Greco Roman, but they have many techniques and approaches in common but they're stated so differently because American freestyle Olympic wrestling focused on winning and forcing a victory, where my experience in Tai Chi, it has always been in partnership, though I am aware that there are some very intense competitions, at least in the East.
It's very interesting that you bring this topic because I was a few weeks ago I was having a conversation with a Tai Chi master, and he said to me that what is it called, push hands. That's nowadays it becomes more kind of aggressive,
Mm-hmm.
and it separates from the Tai Chi push hands. Push hands Tai Chi, it keeps the same characteristic of being relaxed, and as you mentioned, not necessarily competing with each other, pushing a victory, but keeping the balance, the internal equilibrium, and this kind of confidence, as one of my friends was saying, that comes from inside, glows from outside, and it makes us take a best judgment for a certain situation. And this is really the Tai Chi push hands, unlike the other one that goes more into showing who is stronger, a kind of arm wrestling with the whole body or something like this.
That's an excellent description of the more intense competition. Like
Well, and then you're saying you're in the mountains, so I think the landscape around you must be wonderful.
when I can get out. Right now, it's a bit of a challenge, but it's a good time. There are some incredible views out here. Absolutely.
I see, I see. How is the weather now there?
Very cold. That's
As we
right now.
have here in Canada, yesterday was minus 17 Celsius, which was quite challenging. And
Yes.
but I think I trained many years, many winters outside in the cold Tai Chi, being well dressed, and I think it's a very good way of getting stronger and reinforcing the body, challenging a little bit with the weather. I see you train outside most of the time.
Yes, sir. Of course, I have my living room, but most of my jobs require me to be outside.
That's very nice. That's very nice, Aaron. And how about now? You have this house and the chickens. How do you integrate with all this life, with nature, with what's around you? What's this the feeling?
Um, well, have you read the book 1491 about pre-Columbian North and South America?
I have to say I didn't.
Uh, if you get a chance, very interesting because it talks about the perspective of being a part of nature, whether you like it or not, as the life available. So when I first moved into this house, the first thing I did was started providing places for the lizards and the insects to be safe from other creatures, and my yard filled with lizards and insects. Well, of course, what followed was all of the birds, and soon my yard began to produce more plants. And then, with this pandemic, having more time at home, I said, well, I need to eat a great deal of protein in order to keep up my activity level. And chickens would provide some of the best protein. Why don't we have those? And of course, what's followed is even more birds, and now the cats are walking around. So it's amazing that you put a little work into the area you're at, and life just flourishes everywhere, all around you.
Oh, that's so nice, really. And I would like to ask you, I saw you doing just jumping from one topic to another. You're training and you do a certain kind of squat that you're very good at it. You just fold one leg and then you squat onto the other leg.
Over here, they call that the Hawaiian squat.
Yes, yes. And
I excellent for developing overall body conditioning. You're having to continuously manage your balance.
you're very good at it. You're very good. Exactly.
Thank
I
you.
remember most of your clips, they say the Hawaiian squat, the Hawaiian squat. Yes. Very
Thank
nice. And Let me know. Let me see. And then now you're still working.
Yes, sir.
And do you have any projects for the future to put all this experience together? Um,
Well, I have my little dreams and my big dream. My little dreams are to open a gym and open a bar one day. And my big dream is to open up a large enough property for a sort of Renaissance fair science history experience.
that
And
would be wonderful. I hope
we'll see what
you
that becomes.
I hope you the best of luck with this wonderful project. And now, as we are having this situation, this global situation with the pandemic and somewhere quarantine and restrictions, do you think online activities they will grow more and more, or they can go along in the future with what we know as the real activity, real world activity?
I think if you study any of the pandemic throughout history, you see it completely changes the culture and the technology. Um, I I've never seen a situation where people were able to go back to normal. Um, the most recent pandemic that I can talk on with any, and I'm not a historian, but 1917, what around here they call the Spanish flu, uh, killing up to 10% of the people that it infected and infecting about 33% of the world. It was 20 years before people even felt completely comfortable gathering in large gatherings. And that is going to affect all that we do because, of course, many of the things we do require physical contact with other people. So I don't know what it's going to mean, but I know that already all of my students are saying, well, let's start doing Zoom classes and let's start doing things online because, of course, we're all very dedicated and we will do what we can with what we have.
I see, I see. So you think in the future, the online, let's say, training or activities or gathering, they will pound more and more.
Well, all of the governments have been discussing it openly that they need to move communication toward the internet for, I think it's the past 40 years, don't quote me. So it's just been a matter of time until a situation presented itself that would make it necessary. We've been talking about the potential for a global influent pandemic since the 1960s at least. And so there are many preparations that have already been made. I'm certain that we will have most of our lives organized on the internet from here on out.
I see, I understand. And how have you adapted to this online activities? Do you feel comfortable? What is
Oh,
your feeling? And then I will
it,
share with you my feeling.
it is such a process. I was internet savvy and technology savvy in high school. I not focused my life on working with computers at all. And so it's a process of learning and experimentation and reminding myself that what's important is to try and the learning will happen on its own.
I see, I see. Uh, from my side, I could say that I all this session, autumn, fall session, I've been teaching courses online on Zoom,
Mm-hmm.
and I get more and more accustomed and more used to the technology, and I feel behind the screen there is kind of there's humans, and there's an interaction, and it becomes more and more alive, more and more animated, more and more interactive, I would say, which is a good feeling. It's like what can I say? And also I work on strategies how to get a program of training Tai Chi in front of the screen and in a limited space, which in the beginning was a challenge, and now it's getting together.
I've read that a person can practice Tai Chi in only 4 square feet. I still find it challenging myself.
um, Ideally, as we were talking, I would recommend outside. But for learning some techniques, for practicing, let's say, some theory aspects, that could be an option. But 4 square feet is kind of small. I would say my program, it's in a living room where we can have like 5 steps.
Mm.
I can walk 5 steps forward and back, facing the screen at all time. That's the best I could come up until now.
Do you find that many people are asking you about motivation?
Oh, yes, this is a wonderful, interesting question. You see, I think people, they do not understand what is. I start from wellness, to be well, to be content with what I am. First of all, I will have to understand who I am, what defines me, what do I want, and then just go for that. But going for that, it's exactly like your story, Aaron. You are working hard to have everything you have behind you. And this is not little thing. This requires a lot of effort, a lot of awareness, a lot of attention, a lot of focus, concentration. And only like this, we also arrive to be happy, to be content, because we materialize our efforts into something that's creative, that's helpful for us and for the others. And this plenty motivates us. I mean, from the moment we wake up in the morning until late when we go to bed, all it's directed in one direction, our mind is not split it in many other things, but just focus one main idea. This is the best motive, and we should put our energy like a child. You see, a child, when it starts to do something, a small work, a small machine, a small, everything is there, all his mind is there, all his attention, he forgets everything what's around, and then until he accomplish it, he will be there. We should be like this. We should be like a child mind, like a child nature, and that will be the best for me motivation factor.
Excellent.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Aaron, you're very nice. And do you have any plans for the future to make more public your training, your lifestyle, your life concept?
Yes, absolutely. Starting videos on TikTok was sort of the first step of exploring how to manage internet work. Um, and I knew I would need to become content with dealing with some people who say things that are not very kind. So that has been the first project of doing TikTok work and creating content. I'm hoping to eventually open up an entire process and system, but I'm not completely certain what the form of that will take, since there are many avenues for making a living and helping people on the internet.
I'm sure also that we will collaborate very tightly from now on. And I would like to thank you for the conversation, Aaron. It was very inspiring, and for another conversation in the future.
I'd like that very much. Thank you, Sebastian.
Thank you so much, Aaron.